Positive Principle. I am so excited that you are here today. You are here at the Positive Principle, where we teach you positive principles to help to change your life for the better. The way better. It's awesome to have you here. I am your host, Max Ryan, and we started this whole show out with 4 contestants for 8 weeks, and we helped to change their lives. And Angelica, Mary Beth, Heather, and Jack, all 4 of them are off doing their thing. They're all living their lives, and we will have them back over the summer to see how they are doing. So I know we mentioned that last week, but I wanted to say that again. So welcome to the new version of the show. And the new version of the show is me and Polly Wyram, my colleague Polly Wyram. But Polly is actually on vacation again this week. She's still with her family, having a beautiful California week, and I'm actually going to be able to see her this week. But I'm excited to bring on my next guest, my guest host. But first, I'm going to just ask you a couple questions. Do you feel like you can't find peace? Do you feel like you're struggling a lot in your life? Do you feel like sometimes you're peaceful and sometimes you're not? Well, this week on the show, our whole topic is inner peace. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And so the format of the show, like I was saying, has shifted around a little bit. So it's about your questions, and it's about teaching you and having more of a conversation around a topic. Last week's topic was law of attraction, which I am a certified trainer of law of attraction. I've been using it, use it with everything that I do. And I had my special guest host on, and she is back again this week. Please welcome the incredible Judy Geary.
Hi, yay, I'm so happy to be back, Max, and everybody, hello.
So good to have you back, Judy. It's going to be, we had so much interaction last week, and we had so many comments, and it was a lot of fun. So I also want to make sure before we get into our discussion today, if you have questions or comments about the show or about the topics, if you need our help at all, please put them in the comment section below here, and we will try to read them for you, and we will answer them for you. So it's great. So how have you been, Judy?
I have been wonderful, Max. You know, ever since, like last week, we had so much fun on the show. And whenever you invited me to come back this week, I was like, yes. I said, yes. And then I said, what's the topic? And then when you said peace, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love peace. I love talking about peace. So yes, I'm in.
Oh, it's so good to see you. Great. So yeah, we want to, I do want to tell you all, first of all, that if you go to the positiveprincipleshow.com, please sign up for our emails and our letters. I actually, we didn't get our newsletter out this week, but we will be sending one out. And if you want free law of attraction videos, you can go to attractpositiveresults.com. That's my personal site, positiveresults.com, and you can get 5 free law of attraction videos. So that's it. I just wanted to tell you that. But we're going to get into peace. You know, last night I have a couple of live groups that I run, and I had a group that I ran at my friend Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development for a couple of years, but the school actually has closed now, and my group, we all wanted to keep going. So one of my friends, Michelle, hey Michelle, if you're watching, she offered her home so that we could all go to her house. And so last night we had about 9 of us, and we had a great conversation, and the conversation was about peace. And so we had a lot to say about it. We shared ideas about it, and that's what we want to talk about today, peace. So, you know, Judy, what do you think peace is for you? How do you define peace? Because we were talking about everybody has a different kind of definition probably of peace. What would you say peace is?
Mm-hmm. To me, peace is like a serenity feeling. It's like, you know, you feel very at peace with things. And I'm gonna tell you, Max, a lot of times when I'm at peace, I feel completely connected to source. You know, it's like you have that feeling where there's absolute, you know, I've heard the saying, you have peace within you, then nothing outside of you can affect you. And that is an amazing place to be, is when you're at peace with yourself, then it's just like nothing outside of you even, it's just like it runs in one ear and right out the other. Well, this way, yeah. So for me, peace is very calming. It's allowing yourself to just be in your own space, feeling relaxed, you know, and being very happy. I'm the top person. I promote happiness a lot, so that's me. Yeah, and I have my ways of bringing more peace in my life, so maybe we'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's really important. You know, for me, you know, I was being interviewed not too long ago, and they were talking about spirituality, and you know, I'm a very spiritual person, and but you know, I was trying to. They said, "What do you define spirit as?" And I was like, "Or what spirit or spirituality?" And I was like, how do I define that? I'm working with it all the time. I'm teaching it all the time. And I was like, wow. And I was like, it's peace. It's all about peace. You know, spirituality. I mean, spirituality in the way that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about religion or dogma. Very different. But spirituality, really, kind of the goal of it is peace. And when like what you just said, I agree with you. You know, it's when you are peaceful, you do feel connected to source. You feel more like, you know, whatever you want to call it. Remember last week we were saying peanut butter in the sky?
Yeah.
Whatever you call it, you feel more connected to it. You feel like, and the other part I think about peace is also when you have a sense of you are yourself. There's no mask. You're not trying to be pretty, you're not trying to be hot, you're not trying to be smart, you're not trying to be accepted. You know, you feel peaceful because you're allowing yourself just to be. You know, the beingness of it. It's very Zen, you know, and in Zen philosophy is all about, you know, being the consciousness behind your personality. And when you are that, it doesn't matter. Everything's okay. And so that's what I mean. I know that's a long definition, but pretty much that's what I would say. It is definitely connected to spirituality, and it's in the we're going to get to this, but I just wanted to say this. Last night in our group, you know, and we all went around and I said, what's peace? And then, but before we did that, we sat around. It's not going to be very good to do this right now, but we played some meditation music. We all sat and we just said peace for about 3 minutes, meditation music. And then we got into the vibration of peace. And then everyone shared what their experience was, and everyone was different. And my experience was kind of when I came out, I was more of, it's the absence of struggle. It's the absence of something. And it wasn't necessarily something for me, a feeling. It's hard to describe that feeling, but it was an absence of resistance. That's what I was saying. When I didn't have resistance, I felt peace. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you experience it like that at all?
Do I what?
Experience it like that at all, the absence of resistance?
Yeah, to me, I would probably form it in words of absence of negative vibration, you know, because there's so many different negative vibrations that could be going on. So for me, you know, when thinking about peace and the times where I've been at the most peace, it's when I have had like zero negative vibration in my life. And, you know, it's the times where we do have some negative things going on in our life or negative experiences, things that you can feel the negative vibration bubbling below the surface. You know, that is where, you know, you really tapping into peace. It takes us being very deliberate to do that. And I love that we're able to do that. We can do it at any time, because there's times where everything is flowing and we love it when it's flowing so well and you know, it's so easy just to move right into peace. And then there's times where, you know, things are going on and it's like being very deliberate about moving into peace and manifesting the peace in our life. And to me, I just love peace. It feels peaceful even talking about peace. You notice I'm slowing down my talking. When we first got on, I was wired up from chocolate chip ice cream.
But it's true. It's true. I mean, but that goes to prove, you know, what you focus on is what you experience, right? So we're focusing on peace, so you're feeling peace. And I think that that's really true. God, something just came up. I do want to ask this, and I think it's actually I want to know what you think first, and then I'll tell you what I think. But, you know, because you were saying about finding peace and getting peace or whatever. Do you think we find peace, we get it, or do we uncover something, or do we uncover it? Do you know what I'm saying? Is it like it's something that we need to get, or is it something we already have? That's a better question.
Oh, we already have it. You know, I feel like we already have it. We just have to allow ourselves to be at peace.
Yeah. You know, because I think that much of the world, the insanity of the world, would get you into that thinking of I don't have any peace. I have to go find it. I'll get it. I'll get peace by getting a massage. I'll get peace by doing this. I'll get peace by do. And you'll find it somewhere. And I think the world kind of promotes that on some level, but it's really, I mean, I think it really is about that removing the blocks. In the Course in Miracles, it says, you know, about removing the blocks to love's presence in your life. It's the same, peace and love, same thing. You know, love, you have that warm feeling of safety and certainty and confidence, not even confidence, but just a certainty and not a pushing. There's no pushing involved. There's no trying, but it's like you uncover that. It's already inside of you. Right?
Exactly. You know, Sunday night, I started my Law of Attraction class. It's an 8-part series class. And Sunday night, we were talking about Law of Attraction. So this is kind of combining our last week talking about Law of Attraction on your show, and then this week talking about peace. Because one thing that I shared with those in my class was that, you know, with Law of Attraction, we're always, you know, people are always promoting manifesting cars and jewelry and, you know, different things. And, you know, we know that we can manifest our ideal relationships and things like that. But I also reminded them and brought to their attention that we can also manifest our ideal feelings. So peace is a feeling, you know, we have this, it's a sense over our body, and we can manifest peace into our lives. You know, and I've had my share of experiences having a history, you know, 24 years of my life, I had panic attacks. So when I learned that, you know, I just accidentally started doing it. It was like I'd be anxious, and I was like, okay, what do you want to feel? I want to be at peace. I want to feel joy and peaceful right now. And then I would start focusing on manifesting peace and joy, and boom, I mean, the anxious feeling would just go away. Yeah. So it was like, okay, that right there just really excited me, that the thought that, you know what, I can manifest my ideal feelings. It doesn't matter what I'm feeling. If I don't like it, I can manifest my ideal feelings.
Yeah. And it all comes back to your choice, right? It's all about choice. All about choice, for sure. And it is, you know, it is interesting, this the connection, the Law of Attraction and the peace connection, because, you know, I always say that, you know, it's great to, and we can learn the techniques of Law of Attraction, which you all know. Everyone can learn it in an hour. Really, you could learn it really quickly. But you know, when you have an underlying vibration, we talked about this before, that's not peaceful, that feels in resistance, that feels like bad energy underneath it, and you're trying to attract what you want on top of it, it just kind of doesn't work so well. It can work, right? But it doesn't work as well, right?
Right. It's so funny that you said that, because we talked about the exact same thing on class number 1 this past Sunday. So yeah, we talked about the internal vibration and how, you know, at the core of things, if things are congested or contaminated with negative vibration, that it's going to make things slower, and it's going to block the manifestation of what you want. And when you know, peel those layers away, then it's like you have a pure vibration. And I actually have this little, you know, I have my own Hangout show, so I have these little charts. Let me see if I can find it here. See, this right here is a pure positive vibration. Look, it's purified. This right here is at peace, happiness, and then here's some contrast. We got some stuff going on we don't like. And then we have congestion, and then when it's contaminated, woo, look at them. That receiving valve is blocked.
Yeah, it's true. And I love that you said, I love all your little your graphics. It's great. But that thing about the valve is really important, actually, you know, and I believe really strongly that when we meditate, actually, the valve opens up. When we meditate and we get into that peaceful place, the receiving valve. What you said is the receiving valve, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the receiving valve of peace and joy and love, it's opened up because that's who we really are, is peace and joy and love, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and it's funny that you brought up meditation, because I know, like me, I tried to do the traditional meditation where you lay still or whatever. And I have a really funny experience doing it with a group of people. It is hilarious. But my form, I call it active meditation, because to me, I'm a very wiry person. Like sitting still for very long, it's like, I'm just go. So I like to, like, if I'm walking and listening to inspiring music, to me, that's like active meditation is what I call it, because I literally go into my own space of peace, connection. I mean, I just really feel it. Also, whenever I'm cleaning is so therapeutic for me. It is like, I feel so good whenever I am, doing things like that. Like, because I go in my own space whenever I'm cleaning, or if I'm driving, like an hour away and I'm listening to something and I'm by myself, I go into my own space. It's like active meditation. It's funny talking about meditating and driving, right? But,
Yeah.
I do that, and it feels really good to me. You want me to tell you real quick about my funny meditation story?
Yeah.
It is hilarious. I was in a meditation class, and I wanted to go because I hear all these people talk about meditating, and I've tried it so many times, and my mind would start wandering everywhere else. So it's a guided meditation in this class, and this man is telling us to picture an egg. So I'm laying there picturing an egg, and then he says, "Now, I want you to picture your egg having arms and legs." I pictured mine, and mine started like running, and I'm sitting there looking like, and he's going, and I'm sitting there thinking, is everybody's egg doing what my egg's doing? And then all of a sudden he goes, "Now imagine your egg at the top of your head, and it goes down your spine."
What the hell class were you in?
I don't know, but my egg, he jumped like he was on a jumping trampoline and slid down my spine going, wee! And I'm about to bust out laughing the whole time thinking, God, is everybody else's egg doing this? But of course, afterwards, it was real funny because the egg was a reflection of me. I'm wiry and goofy.
Right,
and that would be me going, you want me to sit still? Whatever.
Wow.
So,
I love it. That's so funny. That is so funny. I have a funny story about meditation too, but God, I'm a little like, I've been meditating for, 40 years in my life, and I don't understand that. Well, first of all, I know guided meditation is not what I'm talking about, but that is a guided meditation. I have never in my whole life ever heard of a guided meditation with an egg.
Yeah, it was an egg.
I know a lot of guided meditations are, you're at the beach, it's very beautiful, and you're in a forest and all that stuff. You're walking through all that kind of stuff, for sure.
Yeah.
But
he took us to the forest after he got my egg wound up.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But I do want to say something about meditation, because I also think that, I respect everyone. I always say that, whatever works for you, or whatever blows your skirt up, then do it, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
But I also think that there is a lot of confusion around meditation and what meditation is. And it's not like I'm any authority on it. I just have studied a lot of different types of meditation. And the meditation that I'm talking about actually is the one-pointed focus meditation, not guided imagery or guided meditations at all, because guided imagery usually activates your brain and your thoughts. And what kind of more traditional kinds of, Zen meditations and everything, it's about one-pointed focus where you just always keep coming back to one thing, and so that your thoughts just start to get slower and slower, and you get behind your thoughts, and really behind your thoughts is where the peace is. It's where the peace is. Because the thoughts are what's kind of keeping you from the peace, actually. The thoughts keep you in what the Buddhists would call the monkey mind and the crazy mind, and it keeps you blah, 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 blah. Because I know a lot of very, very super energetic people just like you. I mean, I'm pretty energetic too. But they're able to sit down and able to deal with that. And it doesn't take very long. You can just, even if it's for 2 or 3 minutes of just following your breath, in, out, in, out. In, out. And every time then you go grocery list, breath. Just come back. You come back to the breath. It's so simple, but it does open your receiving valve, that's for sure, because you start to really see how small all your thoughts really are. You're like, wow, okay. And you understand, I know you come from the history of anxiety, and I really believe that a lot of anxiety, I think that you'd agree too, is that anxiety is really so much to do with uncontrolled thoughts. Thoughts going crazy that you think they're going. But the more you meditate, the more you're like, oh, that thought says that I hate myself. Interesting. That thought says da-da-da. And you just observe it. And you're okay with it because you're not your thoughts. We aren't our thoughts. We aren't our feelings. We're the people. This comes back to peace, I think, a lot. We are the observer of our thoughts. We're the observer of our feelings. And if we identify too much with our thoughts, we don't use them as a tool, then that's when we can suffer too much because it takes us on a ride and we're not in control. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I love that you are a master at meditation because, that's something that I've never really done is sit and meditated other than the act of meditation I was saying. So to me, I would love to have you on my show so you can teach me and all my viewers how to meditate because I've never known how to do that other than the form I talk about.
Yeah.
So that's
the way that I do. I mean, we'll do it sometime too, but because we're talking about peace, it's completely in the realm of what we're talking about, so it's perfect. But this is what I say to people too. All you have to do is really follow your breath. What I just did, you go in, out, in, out. When you start thinking about something, you go breath. You come back. You can start. You would not believe, Judy, how effective, literally, doing that for 2 minutes is. You can do it that's meditating. Wow. You do it for 2 minutes. You put a little timer on for 2 minutes and you just follow your breath. And then when it's done, you go, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow at the exact same day. And then you do 5 minutes and then you do 10 minutes. And then, you know what? Then you start to be like, oh my God, I need it. I need it. I need it. Because you start to feel your center and grounded so connected and so peaceful, you want to have that feeling again. Then you go out in the world, but what happens with meditation too is that they always say with meditation, it's not for the time that you're sitting. That's not what it's for. It's for when you wake up and you're in your conscious world, because then you're walking through your world completely differently. You're so much more aware. You're so much more in control. You're so much more peaceful. And when you're walking through the world peaceful, what do you attract? Peaceful things, loving things that make you feel good. So it's not that hard. Hey, let's go on, move on a second. Actually, we touched on this a little bit, but let's talk about it a second. What do you think are the blocks or the blocks to peace? What are the blocks to peace?
To me, I guess I would just have to sum it up with negative vibration, because there's, if you're stuck.
But what specifically is negative? I mean, I think I know what you're talking about, but some people might not know. What creates, and something's creating a negative vibration, isn't it?
Like anxiety, for example. Anxiety to me is one of the biggest things that blocks peace, because to me, and I don't know how to say this. I'm just going to say it. To me, anxiety is a disconnect. It's a disconnection from source. It's like you feel that disconnection because when you're connected, you don't feel that anxiety. So you're at peace with things. And so to me, when it comes to anxiety blocks peace.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, this is what I think blocks peace. I think that there's a few things. First of all, I think the opposite of peace is struggle. when you're in struggling, you're not peaceful. That's kind of the opposite, and anxiety too. But I think that there's a few things in particular. I think there's focusing on the past usually can take away your peace. Focusing on the future and how you want it to be is a block to peace. Wanting things to be different than what they are is huge. That always, the Buddha said that suffering is caused by wanting people, situations, or ourselves to be different than what they are. And when we're trying to make things, people especially, and situations, this job, this person, myself, to be different than what we are, we struggle and we're out of our peace. And so
I love that, Max. That's just totally brilliant. You are brilliant, Max.
The Buddha said it. The Buddha said it.
The Buddha said it. But and because I'm sitting here thinking that, in times where I had felt a disconnect to peace, it had been, when I had been, like focusing on something in the past, or being fearful of something in the future, or just being wanting things to be different, like right now, So that makes total sense to me, and I think it's brilliant.
It's like one of the girls that was women, that were in the group last night. She has fallen in love with this guy. She did this movie. She went away and she fell in love with this guy, and then she's back and she hasn't been in love in so long, and she's just like, oh, I can't wait to get back to him. I'm just kind of a mess and da 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 da. And and we used that, and I said, look, you're thinking that your peace is in 2 months when you go back there. And you're in the future. You're regretting not being there. You're regretting not being there. You're separated from him. So she's wanting the situation to be different than what it is. And when you want the situation to be different, you cannot have peace, because peace is only right now. Peace is nowhere else, and the ego will always be like, when you meditate enough, you'll. And this is really the kind of crazy conundrum of self-inquiry and peace, really, is that it will always be like, if you do enough spiritual work, then you'll have peace. If you meditate enough, you'll have peace. Well, that's not true. You already have it. You already have it. And it's only right now. That's why meditation works, because it brings you into the present moment. And the present moment is perfect. Go ahead.
What it made me think of was say we have an internal peace button and we push it. It's like an activation. So it's like we already have it. We just have to activate it when we're not naturally activating it.
Right. And the more, and you know what, traditionally, really, then the more that you push the peace button, the more every other part of your life just changes.
Oh, yes.
The more it all changes. For sure. It affects everything, because we're the camera and the world. We're the projector, and the world is what we're projecting. So we have inner peace. Boy, oh boy, everything that you project and that you create in your life just starts to feel easy and good. It's not that you don't have problems, but you're able to deal with them in a completely different way when you're peaceful. Completely. It doesn't throw you off.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. You know what word just come up for me when we're talking about peace, and hearing you say and all that, is the word acceptance. It's like, I think last week on your show, we talked about, I don't know, I think I said on your show, where Jim Rohn's quote,
you did. Yeah.
Be happy with what you have while you pursue all that you want.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that's like being at peace, being at acceptance with where you are while you pursue where you're going, or be happy with be at peace with who you are while you're pursuing your ideal you.
Yeah.
And so, that's just the word acceptance, because I know that's one thing that whenever something that seems a bit out of my control goes on, that it affects me, then to me, coming to acceptance with it and being at peace with it, it's so beneficial to me and everybody around me, because when I'm at peace, I influence that upon other people. When I'm of acceptance of something, then it helps the other person be of acceptance of it too.
Right.
Sometimes we give them permission when we accept it, we give others permission to do the same. So,
Yeah,
and I know you probably have an idea of what I'm referring to, even though I'm not saying it. But with the recent things that's happened in my family, so
yeah, exactly. I agree. I know acceptance is huge. Acceptance is huge, and I think that it's the stopping the trying to change things. Stop changes. It's not going to change. People just have to get it through your head. We don't have any control over, especially people. We just can't. We don't have any control. I mean, ultimately, it's like when we want to do something, no matter what someone says or does to us, pretty much if we've decided, we're not going to change. So you're not going to change anybody. You just have to be your own and mind your vibration, which we talk about all the time. The other thing, and I want to kind of wrap up here, is that we talked about this last night, and it goes in the line of accepting. But one way that you can accept is I believe one of the most powerful spiritual principles is forgiveness. Forgiveness is huge. In the Course in Miracles, it says forgiveness is all through the Course in Miracles, over and over and over, and even says forgiveness is the key to happiness. And when you can forgive, then you know what? That's it. And you know what I have to say is that forgiveness comes back to that thing that I was saying the Buddha says, that forgiveness is accepting things the way they were or the way they are without wanting to change them. That's it. That's forgiveness. And you can forgive other people. It's not saying, I'm going to go have dinner with you, but you can, you don't want to like keep them in your vibration, but you can say, you know what? That's okay. And you can forgive them, because then your vibration changes completely. Acceptance and forgiveness. Huge, huge, huge. Right?
Exactly. On my show, my Hangout with Judy show, episode 25 and 26 are all about forgiveness. 25 is how to forgive others who've hurt you, and then episode 26 is how to forgive yourself.
Brilliant, Judy. Brilliant. I love it. Yeah.
So it's it's like you and I are always on the same vibrational wave.
Yes, totally. Those are all the things that I teach. Those are all the things I've learned. Those are all the things that I've studied for years and years and years since I was a little boy. And they all come down to those kinds of things: acceptance and peace and forgiveness and all of those kinds of things. That's what it's about. If you do want to attract positive results, really, those are incredible positive principles right there. Forgiveness might be the number one positive principle, actually. So. Well, I've had such a great time. We're all done. We're all done. Yay!
Yay!
Wow, that was so fun. Now, make sure everyone knows how to get in touch with you, Judy.
All right. I am at highvibeacademy.com. And then, of course, I have my own Hangout with Judy show. I do them on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Central. And if you want to check out my show, you can go to hangoutwithjudy.com. And then you can subscribe, and I can send you the link every week, and you can check out the show. And yeah, that's how you get a hold of me.
Yay, good. And I wasn't such a good boy. I've been so crazy this week, but I want to tell you that I have my own Google Plus community. It is Max Ryan's Law of Attraction and Course in Miracles community on Google Plus. If you just go into Google Plus and you search Max Ryan's Law of Attraction, Course in Miracles, and Law of Attraction, Course in Miracles community. I think if you just write Max Ryan's Law of Attraction, it'll probably start coming up. You can ask to be a member of that. I have exclusive videos and the audios of our Course in Miracles free calls, which are on Wednesday nights. So go to my website, Attract Positive Results, and sign up. And we will be back. Promotion time. Holly and I are going to be doing a huge event, Accessing Your True Power in Anchorage. And so if you are in Anchorage or happen to be flying by Alaska, we're doing a 5-day event. It's going to be great. It's going to kick off with Holly and I giving a night of readings, doing intuitive readings and talking to your loved ones from the other side. So that's the other thing that we do. And so you're all invited to come. It's going to be great. And we will be back next week. And I think Polly comes back on I think she comes back on Monday, so I'm pretty sure she will be back on Tuesday night. And we haven't decided on our positive principle, but we will let you know. So thank you so much, and thank you, Judy.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me back. It's always fun with you, Max.
You make it so easy. It was like 5 minutes. All right, everyone. We will see you next week, and remember to stay positive. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.